little babies.
In your current condition, what was it like getting through those pipes?
Oh, I had to lather myself up in some bacon grease. 2 pounds
So you
worth.
say you had to clean some pipes?
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday Irene. Well, thanks for committing, Ray. For anyone listening, not paying attention on the YouTube, Ray is in his work outfit, full-on Mario costume. He is a plumber, and that's what he does for work.
Mm-hmm.
He saves Princess Peach and shovels shit. So
Mm-hmm.
thank you for making the time for us today, Raymond.
You're welcome.
What do you say we start the show, the Simplified
Absolutely.
Sports Show, latest and greatest on New England sports? Let's get to some opening takes. Allow me to begin, if I can. I'm going to start with baseball. Baseball is right around the corner as being the only sport running for a bit. The dog days of summer will be here before you know it. It's already March. Did you guys get snow today up there in the Great North?
We'll get to it.
Okay. It was a beautiful 60-degree day here in the Mid-Atlantic. Spring is on the way. Baseball is coming, and what's already here is the pitch clock. And the pitch clock may save this sport. For all of you non-believers, Bobby, baseball may be back with the pitch clock, although there are some, more than you would think, the pitch clock cucks, if you would, that don't like it. The baseball purists, the fucking morons. That are out there talking about this not being good for the game and hard for the batters, blah, 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 blah. Today, we have a special guest, the captain of the Pitch Clock Cuck Club, Mr. Pitch Clock Cuck himself, to join us to talk about the other side of things. But I'm here to tell you, Pitch Clock is here to stay because it's saving baseball, and that's all I care about.
Here. Oh, you would like me to go?
Clock.
Mario?
Thank you. Mine is off the cups today because we did not have a 60-degree weather day. We were about to get blasted with 12 inches of snow tomorrow. Tuesday night at Arenes, I know. But the fucking private plow guys are fucking driving me up the goddamn wall. Not the city, not the state, the private guys. No. Let me go. Because these motherfuckers think they rule the goddamn world. Because you know why? They just fucking go into driveways. They back up. They don't fucking care. They just do whatever the fuck they want. They think they own the roads because they have a fucking F-150 and a fucking plow on it. Well, guess what, motherfuckers? You don't. I fucking slid all the way and almost hit one of them because they thought they had the right of way because they're plowing a fucking driveway. Well, no. I say you guys are fucking cunts and you have little dick syndrome and I fucking hate you.
I was just going to ask you to come off the mic a little bit because we couldn't.
No, I'm angry.
A lot of what you said.
Yeah, I want to also pile in on these plow guys. There's been one snowstorm all year in Connecticut, and they came out in full force 2 days ago because there was 3 inches of snow, acting like it was a fucking foot to make their whole nut in one plow.
Yeah, it's the climate change, global warming is really affecting these people in their livelihood or hobbies or whatever you might call it. We don't get any snow down here, but the amount of salt that they put on the roads for anticipated snow is pretty wild. I don't have the animosity towards them as Mario here, but I get it. Right? Bobby, do you have an actual opening take, or do you just want to continue to pile on and vent on these plow cucks?
Both, honestly. I do have an opening take. Being in March, it's now mock draft season. It's now NFL draft season getting in, and
I thought he was going with the Food Network thing again.
No, we'll get there. Don't worry, it's out back here. And so now we're getting bombarded with all these different mock drafts, all these scenarios, your prototypical Patriots, and it is all nonsense. I love to go through it. It is fun, but the one thing I could do without is every white slot receiver that ever played football getting attached to the Patriots. Now, I'm supposed to get excited because they're working out Slade Bolden, who hasn't been in the NFL for 3 years, and all of a sudden now he's the savior. Stop it. Find something better to write about.
Slade Bolden, you know what I mean?
No, like those fucking guys.
Yeah, like the fucking plow guys. Fuck them.
Yeah, we don't need a pile of white receivers as much as these plow guys need a pile of white snow. You know what I'm saying?
Racist.
All racist. Maybe we'll get into that. What we do need to get into, which didn't make the opening take, was Don Sweeney is absolutely on fire. It was a day for the Bruins. So Bobby, take a nap. We're going to talk some hockey to start the show. Then we'll get into our top 5, the concerns for the Celtics, the top 5 concerns for the Celtics. One of them may surprise you. Again, like I mentioned, special guest, the Pitch Clock Cuck is going to join us later on in the program to discuss the other side of what is the best thing to happen to baseball in maybe 25 years. Rumor has it, the juiciest rumors in the sports spectrum. New segment.
That's what it has to be. That has it.
Yeah, it's already in my head. We're gonna get sued by somebody. So we'll do that segment, brand new segment, new shit. Put that up there, and then of course, Simplest Minds of the Week. The post never doesn't deliver. Whenever Bobby feels like looking at the post
which is every day. No, it's every day. It's every day.
We get a hell of a story or two for Simplest Minds of the Week, so we'll get into that. Welcome to the Simple Minds Sports Show, Friday Rewind, March 3rd. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Welcome to the show. And I am very sorry to do this, gentlemen. If you would oblige me, I'm here alone, and I do have just one crying child, and I just need to plug her up with a binky. I will be back in T-minus 3.5 minutes.
Take your time.
We're going to talk? What do you want me to do, Rich?
No, just wait a second, and I'll be right back, and we'll keep going with the show.
Oh.
So talk amongst yourself, whatever you'd like to get off the chest.
I like how he felt like we needed to see the top of his mouth to get that message.
Yeah. Well, I'm a visualizer. I need to see things. So if he was just talking now, I'd be like, I don't see anything, so I don't think he's important. So I just was like, yeah. Speaking of stupid, hey Rich.
Thank you.
How did it go?
We'll see. Welcome to the program. If you're watching on YouTube, you're welcome. Did get a haircut today. Thanks for noticing, Ray. If you are listening on iTunes, we are the self-proclaimed number one New England sports show on iTunes and the actual number one New England sports show on iHeartRadio. So kudos to us and the Mario crowd. Wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching, tell your friends, tell your mothers, rate, subscribe, review. And tell them about W Energy. Go to w.gg. That's w.gg for the latest best energy drink on the market today. And type in Simple Minds. Type in promo code Simple Minds for 15% off all your orders at w.gg. Mario, let's do some. It's 3 flights. 3 flights up, 3 flights down. Humble brag. Actually 4. I'm winded. Give me a second.
That makes sense. Yeah, take a breath. Take it.
Let's do a little hockey. Don Sweeney, goddamn, what a morning! What an absolute fury of a morning. So we wake up to the trade, the Bruins trading for well, you had texted us, Ray. You were ahead of the curve here. You were Billy Bombs on this one.
Thank you.
Tyler Bertuzzi coming over from Bills Red Wings. Very early on. You had sent the text message, and we were waiting, and not soon after that. We got the confirmed trade going down. A first.
Can I stop you real quick? I enjoy when Bill is wrong. And he was like, no, he's going to the Leafs. You don't know what you're talking about, and you're talking out your ass. You could just feel the vibes coming off the text exchange that he was just trying to make me look like an idiot. Who is right now, motherfucker?
This is a very Ray response for anything that goes on, because in that text exchange, all Bill said was, I heard the Leafs were interested. And Ray's so insecure and hates Bill so much. That's what came out.
Hate Bill? I love Bill.
Well, in your own way. Either way, Billy Bombs didn't have it. You had it, Mario, so good for you. Tyler Bertuzzi coming over, a first-round pick for 2024 and a fourth-round pick. They ate 50% of the salary to make it work. The Bruins still needed to make some roster maneuvers, which we'll get to. Taylor Hall and Foligno now going to the long-term injured list, which was the only bad news of the day, because right after the Bertuzzi news, we got a David Pastrnak extension breaking news. 8 years, 90 million, under market value. There were talks of him getting 13 at some point. Obviously, one of the, if in a world where Connor McDavid doesn't exist, David Pastrnak is potentially running away with the MVP, the Conn Smythe this year, if not for his own goalie, who was starting to make a run in Linus Ullmark. So, guys on pace for 60 goals, David Pastrnak is, which would be the first time since Phil Esposito, the only time since Phil Esposito for the Bruins. He did it 4 times. This would be David Pastrnak's first, of course. Something like the 24th guy to do it in league history. So yeah, he earned himself a fucking payday, and he got it. He's getting 11.25 per. But again, the reports were he could get upwards of 12.5, even 13. So a good deal for the Bruins, keeping Pastrnak in tow. Just your opening impressions of the morning for the Bruins, which should cap off their trade deadline after the Orlov and Hathaway deal that they had with the Capitals. They came out this morning and said they're done. We'll see, but they said they're done.
He said he was done the other day too, but
right.
Here we are this morning getting the Tyler Bertuzzi
Chest
news,
first checkers, bitches. It's Don Sweeney's world. He was living in it.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you got a long-term injury for Taylor Hall. No, they're saying the surgeries, but he's getting a second opinion. But I mean, he just filled that hole with Tyler Bertuzzi. If he can stay healthy, that's a legit second line player that you can put up there and score goals. So
can I just interlude?
Yeah, absolutely.
I fill your mother's hole with my Bertuzzi. Bam.
Oh my God.
That was like now you got to do the Dwayne Wade. I'm going to do the Dwayne Wade to LeBron for the fucking, okay. Anyways, but yeah, that's a great move. I mean, you're shoring up. I mean, when Taylor Hall comes back, we're going to play the Lightning role in the playoffs because he's going to be miraculously healed and come back in the playoffs, and we're going to go win the cup now. And I don't care if we're in cap jail for the rest of the time now or we can't shore up anything. If you get a fucking banner and you can hoist that cup, I'm happy for it because it's win now, baby.
Yeah, I mean, the cap situation or the contract situation is a conversation to be had. I think that Orlov and Bertuzzi are now guys that you should sign, and I confirmed it with sources today via our text message exchange that they do have room to do it. They're working with 25 million in cap space next year. If Pastrnak takes up half of that, you can sign 2 veterans with 10 or 12 million dollars, and Orlov and Bertuzzi should be those guys. You spent first round picks on them. The Bruins are going to go 4 years in a row without a first round pick. 3 of those 4 years, they won't have a second round pick. They're going full LA Rams. And I'm for it too. Look, you have to. We said it at the beginning of the year. But if you think about it, right, at the beginning of the year, you started with Marchand, McAvoy, and Grzelcyk, all expected to miss time until like January.
Till February, they were supposed to be out. Yeah.
They all came back a month or two early. You started off you didn't lose for the first 2 weeks of the fucking season. You basically haven't since. They have 8 losses, 8 single digit, 8. They're still on pace to have the most wins, most points in NHL history. And while everybody around them was making moves, Patrick Kane going there, the Leafs going and getting 2 big defensemen, everybody in the East competing with the Islanders going out there and getting Horvat. Everybody around you was making moves to catch up with you. They didn't stand pat, which is kind of their. I mentioned a couple shows ago that I was afraid that Sweeney was going to kind of pull the Marcus Johansson move and just do enough to get a little bit better, but fall short. No, they pulled the trigger and they went out and did basically what they had to do with what they could do, because cap restrictions are a thing in the NHL, and they didn't have a lot of maneuvering to happen. I think that's why they didn't get Chychrun. They couldn't get enough people to eat enough money to bring him on. But even so, Orlov's been a stud since he walked on the last couple games, and now we'll see what Bertuzzi can do with Hall leaving the lineup.
Well, Bertuzzi was only making $695,000 this year, so 50% of that deal. So you could tell that the Bruins.
Oh, I thought he was at like 4. I would double check.
Keep talking.
I would double check. Then I think they got him down to like 2.3.
They had to have him pay half of $700,000. That is.
I think they did.
Their cap space is $39,000. Their cap space is what poor is in America. So.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I don't know what I was looking at then.
That's why they had to drop Hall. They had to get under the cap with the couple of moves that they made, and the injury has just kind of coincided with that.
I was wrong. Mario was wrong. Sorry.
You think that the Bertuzzi move or something like it was in the hopper before those injuries, or do you think that they went out because Hall went down and then Foligno went down in back-to-back games? Do you think they just went, we're not going to risk it? Like, we need a left wing now. Bertuzzi's on the block. Let's just go get him.
Yep, I think that's what happened. Because
you
now
think so. If you think if they didn't get injured, they wouldn't have made that move.
Yeah, because I don't think they would be able to afford it because now that Hall is on the long-term injury list, I think that salary gets dumped off of there so they can afford to go get Tyler Bertuzzi.
Yeah, they would have had to do some major cap maneuvering.
I think that's the only way they can bring him in is because of the whole.
Yeah, then somebody would have had to leave the NHL roster to fit his money in, even though it was only 2.3, not 400K.
Sorry, my fault.
Nice math there by me. That's something like, what is it, 349 or something like that?
Something like that.
What's half of 760? Fucking do it on your own time. Maybe the injuries did have a big part to play in it, but either way, I'm telling you right now, Tyler Bertuzzi is going to be an upgrade from Taylor Hall, the way Taylor Hall has been playing this year.
He's been playing like caca. Like my pipes. Caca.
full of caca. And Taylor Hall in the playoffs last year was a ghost 0. So I bet you Bertuzzi, Hathaway, and Orlov all make significant impacts in this year's playoff run.
Oh, I hope so.
And we'll see how the injuries shake out for Hall and Foligno once we get there.
Well, can I stop you real quick? Because isn't Foligno on injured reserve, and then Taylor Hall's on long-term injured reserve? I think they.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know the full cap implications of those two distinctions, but I thought I heard today that they were going to put Foligno on long-term injured reserve too.
Oh, okay. He's just
on IR. You don't count towards the cap.
Long-term.
If you go on long-term on IR, you don't count towards the cap in the regular season.
Interesting.
And then in the playoffs, you can bring everyone back, and you can be
like Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay did it.
Tampa Bay did it a couple years ago, and they were like 14 million over the cap once they got to the playoffs because their best player came off of injury.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Right when the playoffs started,
they went and won the cup. So, yeah, if the Bruins can pull that off with Taylor Hall and Foligno, as much as Taylor Hall has played like shit, he's probably a better option than AJ Greer or whoever else is down there on the fourth line. So. Yeah, I'm for it. Manipulate it. Do whatever you can. And until then, yeah, if you want to put Foligno's $3.8 million on the LTIR and bring up some of these other guys from Providence and have a little bit of room to maneuver on the cap for the next, how many weeks are left to the playoffs? 4 or 5. That might be smart. That might be smart. Can I just run the Don Sweeney's on fire? Can I just run down the moves that he's made in the past year and a half?
Mm-hmm.
And you tell me if any of them are bad. Spoiler alert, they're not. I'm going to start with the signing of one Linus Ullmark.
Last year, that was bad.
Last year, we were not a fan of that. He was just an okay goalie that you signed for $5 million, 4 years, when you had the heir apparent coming up in Swayman. And it looked pretty bad. It looked like a real bad signing. This year, he's now currently running per Las Vegas odds, second in MVP, second only to Connor McDavid, who was Wayne Gretzky incarnated. So pretty good pull from Don Sweeney there, I guess. You got to give him credit on that one.
Absolutely.
A little bit further. So that was a little bit further. That was essentially 2 years ago, a year and a half. So, but closer. Last year's trade deadline is where we'll start this really. Hampus Lindholm. They went out and acquired him at the deadline. The Bruins gave up Euro Vakanainen, John Moore, the 2022 first-round pick, 2 second-round picks, and then they signed Lindholm to 8 years, $6.5 million cap hit. He's now in your top pairing. He's been your best all-around defenseman this year at 0.5 point a game. He's been absolutely phenomenal, and he's going to anchor your deep pairing with McAvoy for the next almost decade. Check in that category.
Check plus.
After that, they went ahead and hired Jim Montgomery, Bruce Cassidy, who had the 4th most wins in the NHL in his time for the Bruins. The room had ran dry. It happens in hockey. A game away, if it wasn't for Pooper Rask's poopy diaper there in Game 7.
Ooh, I like that. That's
like
good.
What I did there. He would have had a cup, but the rumor and dry. Bergeron was threatening retiring. Krejci played with fucking sheep farmers for a year. Pasternak was threatening not to resign. They didn't like Bruce Cassidy that much, so they went ahead, fired him, and they hired the drunk old Jimmy Monty, old Monty over there. Cheers to you, buddy.
Cheers.
What a bitch. He must be breaking code a little bit. He's got to be sipping on a little something with the season they're having. A couple cheers with the boys once in a while after the game.
Strip club.
Why wouldn't you? It's
Definitely.
hockey. It seems like something you would do.
Well, the last head coaching job, he was fired for getting blitzed and, I don't know, attempting to molest his boss's wife or something.
Something like that.
That didn't seem to hurt his career at all.
Well, he got
got hired.
fired.
It didn't
now
seem
he's
to
the
hurt
best
his career.
And then 5 years later, he's head coach of the best hockey team we've seen since 1972. So yeah, no. Boys and girls, just keep getting fucked up.
Yep. Doesn't hurt you at all.
Just say yes. Keep saying yes to things. Okay? Don't limit your options.
Probably a good sign for Ime too.
I don't know if booze and pussy land in the same category.
You said he was hitting
career
on
success.
his boss's wife.
I said he tried to molest her drunkenly.
What's the difference? All right, come on.
I get it. Sorry, I apologize. Semantics. After that, Jim Montgomery, obviously the clear winner there. They very quickly after that they went and traded for Pavel Zacha, a minor move at the time. They gave up Eric Hall. That was it. Eric Hall's $3 million salary. They brought in Pavel Zacha, who was the number 6th pick overall in that 2015 draft. Sorry, Bill, to mention it. Then they went and signed Zacha for a 4.5 AAV for a couple of years. He's now the second line left wing with Krejci and Pasternak. Has been an absolute stud. Is looking to be your at least center, second line centerman for the future. A plus 19, 41 points in 60 games. Slam dunk Pavel Zacha. Then you go re-sign Bergeron and Krejci to come back and solidify your top 2 lines. I don't know how much Sweeney has to do with that. Frankly, I think a lot of these moves are based on Bergeron and Krejci developing the culture
getting
over
Jim
the last
Montgomery
18 years.
No, firing Bruce Cassidy and bringing in Montgomery, I think, was the big thing to get Bergeron and Krejci to come back.
Yeah, that's a good point. And then as we went over this deadline, he went out and got Orlov and Hathaway, was able to dump Craig Smith's $3-point-something million salary, and then piled on with Bertuzzi, and now with the David Pasternak. Those are literally all the move other side besides like waiving nobodies or cutting nobodies. Those are the moves that he's made in 18 calendar months. He doesn't have a bad one.
Orlov pretty much beat the Flames by himself the other night. He had 2 goals and 1 assist. I mean, he was on fire. That kid was playing like a purpose now. I mean, you're on a winning team now, so you're gonna get the best out of these guys. So I love it. I fucking love it.
As it stands, the chances, this is how it's defined, chances of beating the Boston Bruins in a 7-game series, and it lists basically your playoff teams or in the East. The Maple Leafs have the best chance of beating the Bruins in a playoff series. You know what their percentage is? Of course you do because you're looking at it. 36.9%. That's it.
It's not good.
Doesn't get better from there. Hurricanes 32, Devils 30, Avalanche 30, Lightning 27, Calgary 25. You get the picture. I guess it was.
Yeah, this is all the playoff teams. These are all the playoff teams,
not just the East. It's very small print. You can see it. You can't really read it. Either way, you have a what's that math? 64% chance to beat everybody or better.
Pretty much.
You better win. You better win.
I mean, barring an injury, you think they win it all?
Man, barring a couple injuries. I don't know. If Allmark goes down, that hurts you. If McAvoy goes down, that hurts you. Other than that, you're gonna have to even if Bergeron goes down, you slide Krejci up and put Zacha there. Now you got Bertuzzi. If Hall comes back, like you got depth. They're in a pretty. I mean, Bergeron's super important, but
their depth is pretty big now too. So you can actually like rest players. Like you've been seeing the defensive swaps every other game now. So between Grzelcyk and Carlo, so
yeah, they're in really good shape. So
I mean, Clifton. Excuse me, Clifton.
Yep, exciting day for the Bruins. Now it's just wait. You know, we just gotta wait for the playoffs, which is a little bit boring. A little bit of anticipation here.
Well, it's nice though because we've had the Patriots that sucked, the Red Sox that have sucked. So now it's nice that we can actually wait and be like, yeah, the regular season doesn't start until playoffs begin.
That's basically what we're looking at. That's basically what we're looking at with this team and the next one. We'll talk about the other one right after headlines with the obvious one.
Thank you there, Richard. All hail Don Sweeney. The Bruins GM was once again the laughingstock of Boston, but now is king of the city. Not only is he the team on a 8-game winning streak, 9, I think, because they're winning right now. They are also a league best with 99 points, but he has orchestrated the best trades at the deadline. First, getting Garnett Hathaway and Dmitry Orlov from the Caps for picks and Craig Smith. Then today, getting Tyler Bertuzzi from Detroit for a 2024 first-round pick that is top 10 protected and a 2025 fourth-round pick Long live Don Sweeney. Bruins take on the Sabres as we record. The Celtics have been poo-poo since the All-Star break, and Jason Tatum won't stop bitching and finally got tossed against the Knicks on Monday after arguing calls with the referee. Surprise, surprise. The Seas are now in second in the East since Milwaukee is on a 16-game winning streak.
They just beat the Cavs, you fuck. They just beat the Cavs last night.
The Seas are now second in the East since Milwaukee is on a 16-game winning streak, you cunt. Seas take on the Nets at home Friday night at 7:30. And finally, the Rebs opened up the season beating Charlotte FC 1-0 with the lone goal from Henry Kessler. Next up, Houston Dynamos on Saturday. This has been Headlines with the Obvious One. Back to you, Richard. I went fast there because I didn't think you were going to let me talk soccer real quick.
I was distracted by the bullshit Celtics take.
What do you mean the Celtics? They're second in the East now because the fucking Bucks are at first. Read a book, idiot.
They're a half game behind. You didn't mention the fact that they just beat the. It's stop modulating your mic. Either turn your mic down or get your fucking mouth off it like you're straddling Bill's cock with your lips. They just beat the Cavs, who they haven't beat all year. It was a tough game. Tatum went out and dropped 41. He was 2 rebounds or assists away from a triple-double. They responded to a bad game against the Knicks. They don't play that Knicks team very well. There are a couple teams in the East that they don't play very well. It happens to every NBA team that goes through the regular season. Look at the Warriors, who are currently in, 8th, who are 4-time NBA champions. Get a fucking grip, Mario. Take a look at what the fuck is actually happening and report on it on your headlines. Don't just cherry pick your stupid fucking thoughts.
Are they not second in the East right now?
They're second in the East because Milwaukee rattled off 16 games. It's a game of runs, basketball is. It's a game of runs.
I just said that in the headlines.
Let me ask you something. Did you talk about the Cavs win that happened after they lost to the Knicks?
No. This has been Headlines with the...
This is your top 5 segment, top 5 concerns for the Celtics. Apparently, Ray has several. I have my 5 that we will run through, and my 5 are permanent and they are distinct, and you shall not sway from them. So we will start with number 1. The number 1 concern for the Celtics is injury.
Agreed.
Very boring, but that's what it is. Time Lord. Robert Williams has a long history, obviously, of not being able to stay healthy. You've got Al Horford, who is our age out there. Limit his minutes. If not an injury for Al, then just fatigue is what I would be worried about. Malcolm Brogdon has never played a full season and is an extremely important piece to your team. And Jaylen Brown, sneaky, also never plays a full season. Always has some kind of hamstring or something, a knee or an shoulder or a wrist. Right now he has a broken face, which didn't seem to hurt him at the All-Star game, but the regular season seems to be a different story. So injury is your number 1 concern for the Celtics. Kind of a bland one, but Bobby, your take on that.
Yeah, it's the number 1 concern for any team, especially basketball teams. By the time you get to the playoffs, you're an 8-man rotation, and if you lose 1.5 of those players, where one injury and one can't play anymore, or play very well, you're not the same team. So that's always going to be number 1.
Yep, very well. Okay, number 2, a little more meat on the bone here. Championship medal. Do they have it? Have they built it? Have they earned it? They still do not have anybody on this roster who's won an NBA championship. They don't have anybody 1 through 15 who has gone through the whole rigor of a regular season, the playoffs, and actually walked away with a ring. Does that matter? Yes. Jason Tatum has been to 5 Eastern Conference Finals. He's been to an NBA championship. He's dominated a Game 6 in Milwaukee. He's lost an NBA championship in Game 6. Do you think that they've built up enough of that experience where they can break through this year with what I would consider championship medal?
Yeah, they have enough experience. They've been through enough. They've been able to do it. I know they don't have the medal, but I think some of the other thing, I think number 3 and 4, I think they have enough experience. I think 3 and 4 are more part of what's going to help them or hurt them from not winning a title.
So it's just not experience for championship medal. I'm talking about though. Like you obviously need the experience, but you need to build up that Teflon, that
Well,
willingness
I'm
to
including
like be able to.
Tatum's ability to close and Missoula's ability to coach within the championship medal part.
Okay, Ray, you're. We'll get to that. Ray, your opinion on the championship medal version. Like, basically, do they have enough balls? Do they have enough gumption in them to get through it?
I don't think they do. They're very fragile. This is a very fragile team, mentally wise. I mean, Jason Tatum, as you've seen, he is very mentally fragile when it comes to getting the calls or things not going his way. He kind of shuts down a little bit, not to the point where it's hurting the team, but if it's not going his way or they're getting, a big run against him, you kind of see him shut down. He's not the big leader that we need. And I mean, Jaylen Brown is not Jason Tatum, so he can't lead this team. So if Jason Tatum is the one being, not going, not all in 100% because of, things aren't going his way, I think that's going to hurt this team.
Yeah, I think Bobby's right. It relies a lot on, well, you're right too, Ray, but
Yes.
Number 3 on this list in terms of top 5 is Jason Tatum. And number 2 and number 3 go pretty close to hand in hand. However, I think they're like the Malcolm Brogdons of the world, Derek White, even Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown. These guys have championship medal in them. They don't have the skill set to take you over the top to win. So they have a grittiness to them. They have a competitor in them. Like, I think there's enough of that on this team to perhaps even surpass Jason Tatum's dookiness, which there is. It's a shrinking dookie, but it still stinks. It's still there. In the wrong moments, in the wrong time frame, down 1 to 3 points with 2 minutes left, I don't want the ball in Jason Tatum's hands making decisions. That's your dookiness for Jason Tatum. That's your number 3 concern for the Celtics. Now, if they do what they did against the Sixers the other night and allow somebody else to make a play for him and give him the ball where he just has to not think and shoot, I like that. But give him the ball with 17 seconds, dribble up the court, take on a double team, take on a triple team, have to make the right decision. He doesn't have it yet. He doesn't have it yet. So that would be my concern with Jason Tatum. And he and Jaylen have gotten better in all of these categories every single year of their career. The kid turns 25 like today. So he's got a ton of room to grow, but he doesn't make that leap between now and June. So you need to give the ball to a Brogdon or a White or a Smart to make a play, for the team to make a play for him to make the shot at this point in time. And if you don't, then Tatum is high on the list for concern for me.
It's got to get schemed. It's Missoula. I mean,
which is number 4. Go ahead, Bobby. Number 4 on the list is coaching.
All those things being true, he has to set it up in a manner that, so that way that isn't a problem, and that it takes it off Tatum, and then it encompasses the strengths that they do have.
Yeah. And what a question mark that is.
Yeah.
We've never seen him do it. Like, he's 34.
They're already falling off. Like, have they been figured out? We've discussed multiple times. They play the same way. They're not trying to change. So, and now they're already falling down. You see the Bucks are peaking. I don't know if you want to peak in March. That's maybe March 1st. That's not really when you want to peak, but I mean, you never really want to dip. But it kind of seems like they've been figured out a little bit. Teams playing them a certain way. Maybe they're just, teams get bored, in February, March, and then maybe towards the end of March, April, they'll start to pick it up for when they need to in May.
Yeah, look, the Celtics, you saw in the Knicks game, they shot 20-something% from 3. The old cliche, you live and die by the 3.
Or they 9 for 40 or 9 for 30.
Yeah, something horrific, but they had a ton of open looks. It's not like they were taking bad shots. They just couldn't shoot.
Night. Yeah, they just had a bad night.
Which is their game, right? In a 7-game series, they should be good enough in those categories to just win outright if they just keep playing their game and keep shooting to their ability. But this is what the nerds don't ever take into account. And this is what we saw last year in the NBA Finals. Come game 4, crunch time, Marcus Smart loses his goddamn mind and throws the ball away 2 possessions in a row, and you give up your lead. Boom. all your confidence is shot, all your momentum is shot, and now you walk into the next 2 games and you lose the NBA Finals because you don't play the same way you're supposed to.
Now, can I ask you a question real quick? Because we're on Joe Mazzulla. Do you think he does the same thing with Marcus Smart that Ime did last year? Like, remember in the playoffs, Marcus Smart was playing like shit, and then Ime just sat him in the fourth quarter, pretty much because he wasn't helping the team out. Do you think Joe Mazzulla has that kind of control on this roster to be able to be like, "Hey, Marcus, go take a seat because you're not playing well"?
It's harder to see, except for the fact that he missed pretty significant time, and Derek White is playing basically at an all-star level, and you have a former number 1 option in Malcolm Brogdon that is sitting there behind him. And then I heard this stat on the radio, or these stats on the radio. Marcus Smart is trailing Derek White and Brogdon in every single statistical category there is for their point guards. So points, rebounds, steals, assists, blocks, like Marcus Smart's 3rd in all of them.
But do they have the captain? Do they have the C on their chest?
Is it the heart? Are they the heart and soul of the team?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I will tell you this for Marcus Smart, and you know how much I've said trade him for years. When he's on the court, Jalen and Jason play a different way. They play a little bit with some more confidence. So whatever you want to say to that. Number four on the list, Joe Mazzulla, coaching. Do they have enough feel for the game, enough gumption to make the right calls with their all-stars and their stars? Do they have enough basketball intelligence to make corrections? That's one thing that I don't think did last year in the finals. They didn't make any fucking corrections or adjustments. They you don't hear about it a lot in basketball, but when you get to that level, when you get to conference finals and in NBA finals,
each game
the best coaches make adjustments within the game. They change their plays a little bit here and there. And
there's no real adjustment.
They change players, they change rotations, they change everything. Right. In a real basketball series, game 3 doesn't look anything like game 4.
Right.
Different players play. It's a totally different thing. And I worry about, if we're watching the way Mazzulla coaches the Celtics, I mean, he doesn't call timeouts. He lets them play. It's rec league basketball. All they do is shoot threes. They don't particularly play much defense.
Rec league or church league?
I would say rec league, because in church league we D'd up, Ray. Okay, that was 3-on-3.
The Three Amigos, man.
It was half court. Okay.
CBL, baby, 8-foot hoops.
Yeah. I
Murder
still got
what?
the jersey.
Spent a lot of time in those jerseys.
Yeah.
Next week we should wear the jerseys.
Sure. Which one? The CLB 1, 2, or 3?
Mine won't fit.
Oh, poor Ray. Okay, and finally, number 5 in our top 5 for concerns for the Celtics. Celtics concerns. Number 5 is easy. Everyone should have seen this one coming. Kyrie Irving.
Mm-hmm. Why?
Well, everybody has to keep their eye on the goal. They have to understand who they're dealing with and always be aware of the biggest cunt in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at any point, he could message them and put some dumbass idea in their head.
Like the Earth's flat?
Any idea.
That third eye is blinking. Watch out, Tatum.
It's like just whatever new YouTube video comes out, he'll see and be like, "Oh boy!"
Oh, I saw a good one. I saw a good one today. I should have sent it to you guys. There was a tinfoil hat that the Challenger astronauts are still alive.
Ooh, I saw that one.
You see that one? And there's like 3 of them where the actual same name and they look exactly the same, the same age.
Yeah.
That could fuck you up in the NBA Finals. That's rattling around in my head.
Like when you're taking a shit, you're just looking at the window. You're like, wow.
Yeah, you run me off a screen for 3, and with 3 minutes left, and I think, oh fuck, maybe he is alive in that brick.
Do you think when Kyrie plays the Heat, he asks Jimmy Butler if Jordan's his dad?
Yep. That's a conspiracy theory. You gotta ask.
That's disrespectful. No way I don't know if Kyrie goes to that level. He's definitely his dad.
He has to be. It's so compelling.
Let's stick. Rumor has it.
No, wait. How much pussy was MJ fucking hitting back in the day?
You get all of it.
Yeah, he has so many illegitimate kids out there.
Exactly. I just want it,
and we know he doesn't miss. So just,
I want it to be true. I want it to be true.
I like how Jordan's son's banging Pippen's ex-wife now. That's awesome.
Okay, well, we've gone off the rails. Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back with our special guest, the Pitch Clock Cuck. We'll be right back. if she shows up.
Oh, she. Oh, I thought it was going to be Dr. Vittles.
Sometimes I'm full of surprises, Raymond. Sometimes I have a surprise, and I don't tell you everything, Ray.
Is this the daughter-in-law of the owner of the Mariners?
You mean the future commissioner of League Renee?
Yeah. Oh, I'm right.
Who knows?
She's never on time. She never goes in the text exchange either.
Well, what else we got?
For what?
We're just waiting on a connection issue.
Oh, of course.
What?
She is not pro pitch clock, you're saying?
You can have to. You can ask her yourself.
Okay.
This isn't going to be Finley. You're not waking Finley up, are you?
Oh, Finley, if she ever crosses me. If she ever crosses me in the way that this bitch crossed me, she'll get it. She'll get it. Oh, okay. And let's go ahead and welcome the special guest, the Pitch Clock Cuck.
I knew it was Dr. Vittles.
Welcome.
Good afternoon. Good evening.
As soon as you said connection issues, I knew it was Butch. I knew it. Knew it.
I had him thinking that you were a skinny blonde millennial girl, but nay.
Lo and behold. Lo and behold.
Butch, aka Dr. Vittles, allow me to introduce you to our newest host of the show, Mr. Robert Vine. Bobby is what we call him for short.
Bobby V.
Going, Butch.
What's up? How's it going?
Good, you?
Doing well. Doing fine. Doing great. Doing fantastic.
Hey, how are your Flyers doing right now?
My Flyers are doing way worse than all of the other Philadelphia teams that seem to lose in the finals.
What a way to
whatever
start.
it is they're in.
All right, I was just asking. I didn't know.
Let it be known that the Philadelphia 76ers are probably going to lose in the NBA Finals because that's what every other team does.
But you've been drinking?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
My birthday is on Sunday, and of course I've been drinking.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Butch.
My birthday is 7 weeks from now, so yeah, me too.
Of course you're drinking too.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing that I don't need a clear mind for is to argue the.
Can I hold on? Don't say that yet because I had
get into it, Butch.
Your team. Butch is a Philly fan, a Philly sports fan,
Yeah.
and Philly is basically like the hard.
We're the
cousin
second best
of the
team in everything,
Boston.
and I will challenge you to.
That's right. You're constantly kissing your sister. You guys can't push
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
It's debatable.
It's like Irene
No,
on
it's
Wednesday.
not.
She's
It's
just
not.
too tired.
It's not three sports in 1 year. We've come up second place.
Are you calling soccer a sport?
Yeah, I'm calling soccer a sport. Are you
Cheers to
stupid
you.
or something?
No.
Are you
Cheers
a
to you, my friend.
plumber or what? I mean,
Yes, I am.
Jesus.
I like that you haven't made any comments about Ray wearing a Mario costume.
I said, are you a plumber? That's a comment right then and there.
He is a plumber.
Yeah.
He had a work meeting today, so he had to dress up.
He had
Yeah.
to dress up for the part. Luigi
All right.
couldn't make it, so
All right, today, Dr. Vittles, aka Butch, aka the Philly fuck. You're here to discuss baseball.
I thought it was
Which is-
cuck, not fuck.
Well, no, this is a
was
whole
promised
other
that
one.
was
You
a
are
cuck.
now deemed the Pitch Clock Cuck. And this is coming off a text message exchange that you and I had the other night.
Yeah.
That was very unprompted, like just paragraphs just thrown
Yeah.
at me with your
Spewing
disgust
it.
over this pitch clock
Spewing it.
after I was basking in the glory of what baseball had done. And we went back and forth. Now,
Yeah.
per usual, I berated you into
Yeah.
submission. But I want to give you this chance to now just say
That's
your piece.
debatable.
Everybody understands. I'll say my piece and you can say yours. Everybody understands that baseball was a dying star. It was going nowhere. You had the olds of the world that were literally dying with it, and they had to make drastic changes. You can't sit around for 4 hours and watch a sporting event that moves at a pace slower than Ray to a salad bar. You have to do something to get the game moving, and pitch clock has been around for a decade in the minor leagues, proven to work, and immediately immediately within the first games of minor league. They shaved 25 minutes off the thing, and you already have Twitter accounts exchanging with one guy pitching an entire inning versus one guy pitching basically one pitch. If that's not like a major improvement for a game that was dying for that type of change, what the fuck's your problem with the pitch clock, you cuck?
Baseball still is a dying sport. Let's not get ourselves on that. But you can't let a game be decided by a batter not getting ready within 8 seconds of the pitch clock. We're talking about games being decided by this. It's ridiculous to think. Look, I'm fine. Baseball games shouldn't last 4 hours, but I can't tell you a single time when I've paid my good money to go to a baseball game and get done in 3 hours and say, you know what, I wish that game lasted 25 minutes shorter. It's ridiculous to think that baseball should be a shorter game. Certain situations call for more time. When it's 3-2, the count is 3-2 in the bottom of the ninth. You don't say, hey, batter wasn't ready in time, let's end the game on that. Why? That is my problem with the pitch count.
Why?
Certain situations, baseball's a mind game. Baseball is way more of a mind game than any of the other sports there is. I'm not saying that it's a great thing for baseball to be reliant upon this mind game. Baseball is it's boring, right?
But so what, you have to do something to change it. That's the whole point.
So you want the boring thing to last longer?
The only thing baseball actually has is that suspense. The suspense built up. Is he going to throw it now? No, he's going to wait a few more seconds.
Okay, this is what baseball's done to you and the multitude of people that that are arguing against this pitch clock. They've lulled you to sleep with you and your fucking stouts or porters, whatever you're drinking tonight, into the fact that you think that's what baseball is. That's not the game. Yes, it is a mind game. It is a thinking man's game. You have to understand the multitude of situations that can happen depending on where the ball goes in 9 different positions across the field. But that doesn't mean it has to take a minute and a half before the action every single fucking time.
And at the same time, they're telling people, no. You can't stand here. You have to stand over here because we've deemed it unbaseball-like for you to be in a position where the batter's going to hit the ball.
They do that in every sport. You can't stand in the paint for 3 seconds.
The shift is a legitimate maneuver to reduce people hitting the ball where you're not.
Look what they've done to the NFL. Quarterbacks can't get touched now because they want them to be the most dynamic player on the field.
The quarterback hasn't moved his position. He's still in the same damn spot.
Yeah, but no one can hit him in that spot.
So, well, that's a different whole scenario altogether.
No, it's not. Football's about hitting. Baseball is about hitting. They're just hitting in different ways in different areas. They don't tell a wide
receiver, you can't stand 3 feet to your left.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
You can't stand on the fucking line. They changed the rules that you can. You have to cover a tight end. You have to cover a lineman.
Yes, you do. You have to be on the line of scrimmage. You can't stand 3 feet to the left.
It's fucking changing where you are.
You can't be off the line of scrimmage. You can't have these other things. You can't just let hitters bunt the ball to wherever. Like that's the defense to the shift. You can shift all you want, but you're leaving open an entire side of your goddamn baseball field.
But the problem is the game. Let me go for a second. The game needed to rescue itself, and this is what other sports understand in baseball.
If the game needed to rescue itself, they would have done so when the damn ball stuck to Yadier Molina's chest protector 10 years ago, and they let that slide. They didn't give a shit until ratings started to slide.
The sticking was part of baseball trying to correct itself. They just failed at it. So is juicing the ball. So is juicing the players. That's why basketball has corrupt referees. That's why football doesn't let you hit the quarterback.
Commissioner.
Has commissioners. They
Oh,
all do.
great.
They all try
You're
to
right
save
on
themselves from within, and eventually they'll all collapse because the fall of Rome is inevitable for all the greatest things that you've ever seen. And that's what. But baseball didn't let that happen to itself. They just let it die a slow fucking death until '94. Where they striked because the players had enough of the shit, and then the fans went, all right, we're not going to watch any of this.
Yeah.
So then they had to juice everything to get people back excited, and that gave them a decade. And then luckily enough for you Philly fuck, you got the Red Sox and the Yankees that gave them another 5 to 7 years that juiced up the ratings in baseball. And since then, it's been a slow crawling death with the 3 trail outcomes that these nerds have that has deployed upon baseball.
Yeah.
Home run, walk, or strikeout. That's it. So everybody that comes to the plate is a power guy. Power. You've eliminated singles. You've eliminated steals. You've eliminated bunts. You've eliminated hit and runs. You've eliminated all the things that make baseball exciting, that move the game along. And with the pitch clock, you're going to start speed things up and make people make decisions when they're not comfortable, which is what sports is all fuck about. You don't get to take your step out of the box whenever you're not comfortable. You don't get to step off the mound whenever you're not comfortable. The ball doesn't feel right. Give me another ball. Give me another ball. Fuck you, you pussy fucking baseball players. Step up to the plate, swing the fucking bat, throw the fucking ball, you pussies. This is what the game needs. It's absolutely what the game needs. And what the shift, no one was hitting the ball the other way. You know why? Because they just hit it over you. They'll just hit it over you. And they figured out how to do that. So the game needed to redefine itself and save itself from going into a void of nothingness. And that's what they've done with these changes. And watch, Dr. Vittles, if you can get sober enough to come back here in a year and a half, 2 years, you will agree with me. The game will be in a much better place. We'll be watching baseball games again. It'll take 2.5 hours, then you can turn your hockey on because they'll start at a different time. I guarantee you that. The game is about to be saved. Kudos to Rob Manfred, you useless piece of shit. Finally, you've got this into the game.
Yeah.
Well done.
Once again, you're half right. Baseball needed to save itself from itself because baseball sucked for way too long and it still sucks. That's the problem with baseball. They finally, once again, took the one thing out of baseball that was good. The fact that people were dying in suspense to see what was about to happen next. And you're going to rush people into making.
They were dying from waiting to see what's going to happen next. It took so fucking long.
Can I just get
and let's
Dr.
be
Vittles, give me a
Americans
second. I'd like
about
to
it.
hear
Let's
from
say this is why we hate soccer too. We
I
hate
love
soccer.
I love soccer
because soccer doesn't have enough action. We're not dying.
Soccer's continuous
we're
action.
dying to see
There's
goals.
literally, it never stops.
That's the way I see about soccer.
Soccer's more action than baseball, but it's a numbing action. Baseball is a numbing nothingness until the pitch clock came in. Bobby, as the non-baseball guy, I can't remember. We went to school together. I don't remember if you were ever a really big baseball guy, but has the sport waned in your opinion? Like how much you've watched it?
I much more care about baseball than I would hockey. I used to like baseball more, but just as you get older, life priorities, sometimes things you follow less than others. So, but the Red Sox era that we grew up in,
to not
I was
follow
much more
baseball
of a fan.
over other sports.
What was that?
You choose to follow baseball, to not follow baseball. You clearly follow other sports, right? But you choose to not follow baseball because baseball sucks.
Boring.
And baseball still sucks, even with the pitch clock. Are you in agreement of that?
Listen,
Because
I
the
think
pitch
baseball
clock
can be
isn't
saved.
saving
I
baseball.
think there are things that it can be done. I think baseball, what your point is with about the suspense and things like that, I liken that to playoff baseball. I think the problem with baseball is there's too much fucking baseball. Baseball was made 150 years ago. Playing 162 games, no one's got time for that shit when every game is 4 hours a day. If the season was significantly less and each game was significantly more important and you get rid of a 5-man rotation where the 5th guy is fucking garbage and then you have your best pitchers playing because they're more rested and then every game is much more significant, I think the sport would be much more interesting.
I 100% agree with him. And you know what I say to that? Let's shorten the games. Who needs 9 innings? Whose fault was it that we have 9 innings anyway? If a pitcher can only pitch 7 innings and pitch a complete game, let's let's leave it to 7 innings. Who needs 9 innings? If you want to shorten the games, let's shorten it by 2 innings.
This is where I can never get on the same page with Dr. Vittles. Like, he's so hot and bothered, him and his pussycat, about the pitch clock, but yet he wants to cut the innings. Like, I never understand your logic. It's probably because you're from Philly and you drink Philly water and your brain is scrambled and you think a different way. But I never understand where you come from. You just spout nonsense. And I mean, you know what?
It's probably my second place mentality, and you guys are a first place mentality kind of.
We need people like you that just come from a different angle.
Yeah.
Generally, it's a crooked one, but
I just think
sometimes something good comes out of it.
All in all, 7 innings. You're going to shorten the innings. You're going to shorten the games by 30 minutes. Whoever went to a baseball game and said, "Hey, 9 innings is exactly why we're here." If 7 innings doesn't get the job done, it's a tie game, then you go to 8, 9 innings.
You know what? That's how I feel about basketball. Like, whoever went there and said 4 quarters is what we need. Get this shit done in 3.
That's a ridiculous argument, but okay.
Fair enough. Dr. Vittles, we appreciate your time and your efforts. And congratulations on your consistent second place finishes. I'll give you the last 30 seconds here for a final word, and we will talk to you again relatively soon.
Final word. It's a me, Mario.
Thank you. Happy birthday.
Deuces, y'all. I love the outfit. Love you, Ray.
Thank you. Love you, Butch.
Hate Rich. Hate him so goddamn much.
Me too.
I've never had 30 seconds that I've gotten to talk to him and say so much shit.
I thought for sure he was going to mute you or throw you out by now.
Me too. Love you. Mean it. Bye, guys. Baseball sucks. Hate the shot clock.
Pitch clock.
Shot clock.
Oh, shot clock. Oh,
it's what it is. It's really what it is.
I'm sorry. You're right. I was wrong.
Baseball had a...
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I could feel it. I could feel he had another fucking rant coming through. Like he wouldn't let his lips stop moving, and I knew it was coming. And you know what? Kudos to him. He held himself back.
I liked it.
That's our baseball analyst, Dr. Vittles. Well, he'll be back for baseball season. Before that, we'll do a quick afternoon delight and get to rumor has it.
Sky rockets in flight. Afternoon delight. You guys have it, I think. Afternoon delight.
I don't know, Ron. That sounds kind of crazy.
All right, welcome to our newest segment. We keep slapping these new segments on here. This one's called Rumor Has It. We're going to talk. No, I think basically this entire show is rumors, but we're really going to boil these down to some of the most salacious and juiciest ones of the week. And we had a couple here. I think most of them are all revolving around the Patriots. So let's start with that. We'll start with Tom. Go ahead.
First of all, how dare you? Because I had a couple rumors that you would not let go in this little segment that we're having right now.
I did?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't know that.
Rumor has it Bill has an STD.
It's on there. It's at the end.
Oh.
It's lumped with you losing weight.
Rumor has it.
Is that the only thing that you have qualms about?
No,
I'm good. Have something else?
No, that's it.
I pushed back a little bit on this one that I was about to announce before your rude ass interrupted me. The first one that I'd like to talk about is Tom Brady possibly coming back to football. And you had presented it, and I said, is that real? And you said yes. So I did a little research, and come to find out, John Lynch, the GM of the San Francisco 49ers, reached out to Tom Brady after his retirement, and they had some pleasantries, if you would, and just kind of let him know that they might be in need for a quarterback. Seems like a weird team that would be in need for a quarterback who's had
No, it's not.
3 starters in a year, but Kyle Shanahan can't help himself getting these guys hurt. Jimmy's gone. Trey Lance sucks. Told you that 3 years ago. And Brock Purdy is Mr. Irrelevant. So,
Well, he also can't get his surgery on his UCL because his elbow's still swollen. So now it's like pushed back even further. So he won't be ready for, what is it, 6 months recovery time or something like that. So he won't be ready for training camp or anything like that. So
All those handoffs in the NFC Championship game. Nice
Really
job,
fucked him up.
Shanahan.
that West Coast spread.
what's your percentage on Brady coming back and playing for 49ers?
69%.
Nice.
Thank you.
Bobby, this is a prediction segment.
I'm gonna go 0.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 0.
Ooh, fuck you.
I'm
both.
gonna go 0. He's not gonna play again.
Okay.
I think he's got too much. It's not pride. It's just like,
I think
He already did the
he
fake
looks like a
retirement
loser
once.
if he unretires twice.
yeah. Don't Brett Favre the fucking thing.
That's what he doesn't want to end up being. Yeah.
Yeah. He's done. He's already moving on. But it is a rumor. The other rumor revolved around the Patriots is the wide receiver position. This was basically reported, so I don't know how much of a rumor it is, but we can throw some names around. The Patriots are going to look to add at their wide receiver position, not by the draft, but by a veteran, which starts to the rumor train of who they could bring in. So DeAndre Hopkins has been rumored for basically since the end of the season. The Cardinals are outright trading him. It's going to happen. The expected asking price is a 2nd round pick. Brandon Cooks is also on the very high end of what people think the Patriots could do. I don't know what the asking price for Brandon Cooks would be, but I'm a no on that. Keenan Allen is also potential cap cut for the Chargers, but people have thrown some water on that for the Patriots. Anybody else? Any other names you want to throw in this rumor? And do you agree the Patriots should and will go after the trade or free agent market for a veteran wide receiver as opposed to drafting?
T. Higgins is the other rumor. That's the Bengals' number 2
Jerry
wide
Jeudy.
receiver. Yeah, Jerry Jeudy's another one I heard too. Both of them, I don't see any credence in them getting because the Bengals came out and said they don't plan on trading T. Higgins and Jerry Jeudy. I mean, you just got Sean Payton there, so why would you want to trade him?
Yeah, I mean, if they're looking to add a wide receiver, their history of drafting wide receivers is shit. So I wouldn't expect for them. Well, they could think they're going to do it now, but if they're looking to be more successful, they would probably acquire this position and then draft other positions of need.
Would you rather Hopkins or Cooks?
Hopkins.
Neither.
Are you
Hopkins
one or
had
the other?
the
Well,
two.
thank you.
Fine, Hopkins.
Thank you.
Do you have a name, Bobby?
A name for
So the other free agents are what? Alan Lazard is on probably the top of that. Who are the free agent wide receivers?
I think
they're
Jacoby
not
Myers
great.
is like the best wide receiver on the market.
Jacoby Myers wants between $15 and $20 million. I think I would rather spend that money on someone better.
Yeah. It's a lot of money. I think he's a good
Frankly,
player.
I think he's been a good piece for the Patriots and obviously has been a reliable weapon, but the offense has struggled. Even looking past the Matt Patricia year, the offense was not dynamic with Josh McDaniels and Mac Jones. They were just steady. And Jacoby Myers was a part of the steadiness. And if he's your number 3, number 4 guy, fine. But this is a case where the market is low and he's high, and you don't buy high on a low asset. And I think that's the deal with Jacoby Myers.
I have some names for free agencies.
ahead.
Robert Woods from Tennessee.
Nope.
Pass.
Nelson Aguilar.
Nope.
Pass.
Sterling Shepard.
Nope.
Pass.
DJ Shark.
No,
Whatever.
he's not going to do
Fine.
anything.
Randall Cobb.
No.
Pass.
Marvin Jones.
No.
Pass.
Julio Jones.
No.
No.
Byron Pringle. Who?
Who's that?
He's from Chicago.
Are these sour cream and onion Pringles?
Ooh, that'd be nice. That's my favorite. Alan Lazard.
I throw Alan Zara. The problem is
Yeah.
with all these guys is like Devontae Parker is that guy, right? Like,
How about this is the
you're
one
not
that I think
upgrading with.
this is the one you have to really put like thought into. Like, can this person come in
Civil
here and make
Mind
a difference?
sports show. I don't want to hurt myself.
Can this person come in here and make a difference? Okay. N'Keal Harry.
And his ankle injuries. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the other juicy rumor going around, and this one's really gaining steam. Matt Patricia is out there running his mouth in a lot of different ways. So all the reports you're getting from about Mac Jones, the most recent one was that in 2021, not 2022, 2021 with McDaniels, that the coaching staff had to take it easy on Mac in 2022 because of how he handled a hard coaching with McDaniels. I smelled bullshit the second I read that fucking headline, never mind reading the article. But then before that, you had, Mac was going out to reach out to the coaches. Mac has been a baby. Mac has been hard to deal with, uncoachable, blah, blah, blah. All of this stuff has been trickling out basically even before the season ended. Now we're getting reports from the other side that basically it's fucking Matt Patricia. It's basically Matt Patricia trying to save his own ass. And then we got a full-on report from Ben Volen of the Boston Globe that Patricia took that OC job to do Bill Belichick a favor. This is, quote, Boston Globe's Ben Volen reported Wednesday that Patricia, quote, didn't really want to be offensive coordinator, but did it as a favor to Belichick, who needed someone he could trust.
Bullshit.
I'm just going to ask you guys to just quickly, just for this one segment, sway away from your fake Mac Jones hate and just read through this. Matt Patricia is going full rogue, fucking his way out of New England. I heard the other side of this, that from WEI talking about, well, why would Matt Patricia talk shit about Mac Jones if Bill Belichick doesn't want him to? Bill Belichick and Matt Patricia are no longer together.
Isn't he out of a contract? Patricia's
out of a contract.
Yeah.
Bill doesn't have a job
he ain't
for
free
him
anymore.
He ain't paying for him. Patricia's gone rogue. He is talking shit about everybody that will listen to him for him to save face.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, I don't know, that this report that Ben Volen, he didn't want the OC job. He just did it to give Belichick a favor.
Bullshit.
Well, it's bullshit. I mean, maybe he had some of that thought, whether it's bullshit or not. It's a lot of hindsight going on now that it didn't work, right, Matty P? And you shit only gets released if you have an agenda. And Matt Patricia's agenda is get me another job in the NFL as a coach. And what he has to do is save his own ass right now. So he's throwing his quarterback under the bus. That's why his offense didn't work. And he's throwing now Belichick under the bus, who gave this guy a career to try and find his way back in the NFL. I don't know how you see it any other way.
That's the only way I see it, is he's just talking shit so he can be like, hey, that wasn't my fault. That was because Mac Jones is fragile. He can't handle the limelight. I could do better, but I'm not really an offensive coordinator. I'm a defensive guy, so give me a defensive coordinator position like you tried to do in Denver with Sean Payton. So that's what he's trying to do, because he is now the laughingstock of the NFL, and no one wants to hire him.
Yeah, he probably thought that being the offensive coordinator would be the best way to get a head coaching job again.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And Belichick did that for him. Look, this has almost been reported, almost been chronicled. Belichick was trying to set up his succession plan. We've had this conspiracy theory. We've had this rumor. Rumor has it. This fits. We've had this talk. Belichick was trying to set up his departure with Matt Patricia, his son, and whoever else was in the fold. But Matt Patricia was one of the lead guys. So you put him up, you bring him back. He's already been defensive coordinator. You bring him back, you put him upstairs for a year to do the Ernie Adams jobs. And now, yes, Bobby, you're right. Now you go coach some offense. And now your next trajectory is head coach, whether it's here or somewhere else. There you go. Now you're going to tell me that Matt Patricia had this conversation with Bill over the last 2 years and said, you know what, Bill, that's not for me, but I'll do it for you. Fuck you. Fuck you, Matt Patricia. What a piece of shit. What a piece of shit. You sucked at your job. That's it.
Do you think Raymond High School has a head coaching job for him for football?
You got to talk to Pikush.
No, Pikush isn't there anymore. He's in Londonderry. How dare you?
No, they're sellout. Another goddamn sellout.
Mm-hmm.
Last rumor has it is Carmelo Anthony is rumored to be the buyout option for the Celtics to fill out their roster. I'll give you a quote here. One opinion is bringing Carmelo Anthony in if he's open to take a role like Griffin's, Blake Griffin's, that is. Given Anthony's friendship with Chris Paul and Kevin Durant, Boston might have to compete with the Suns to sign him. There are other options for the veteran leaders, including Joe Johnson, who the Celtics, including stars Tatum and Brown, valued having in Johnson's short time in Boston last season. So, in short, Carmelo Anthony or Joe Johnson?
Joe Johnson.
Yeah, let's go Joe Johnson. The Jays seem to like him. And if they like him, I mean, that's all that matters.
It's a done deal. Also, Carmelo Anthony has never won anything in his life outside of international play, so keep him out of there.
And Joe Johnson is a double J.
JJ. Okay, we're running late, so we'll do Simplest Minds of the Week right after this.
Are you stupid or something? Mama says stupid as stupid does.
There's a lot. There's two they're not even on here, so let's go quick. Okay, the first one is.
I think one of them. I don't know if Butch would like.
I actually missed the joke, so you have to tell me where that lands.
The cat one.
Ah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Vittles is a big cat guy. Vittles
He loves him pussy.
Yeah, he does. Speaking of pussies, John Morant beat up an 11-year-old.
The 11-year-old was a prick.
I told you, Ja ain't about that life. He ain't that guy.
I don't have the full story, but apparently, the 11-year-old came forward and said John Morant beat him up and hit him consistently a bunch of times, and then pulled a gun on him.
Mm-hmm. That is the story.
You're a grown man. Why do you need to? It's okay if you just have to beat up the 11-year-old, then you have to pull the gun on him too.
The only way I do that is if you lie to me at the rib place.
Can you give me a prediction on John? Do you think Morant is one of these guys that very quickly he might just not be a guy in the NBA anymore?
There doesn't seem to be any consequences to his actions.
He's gonna be like a Gilbert Arenas. He's gonna do something stupid and get blackballed.
Gilbert Arenas, yeah.
Great call, Ray. And the other reason why that this is true,
yeah,
his whole game relies on athleticism, and he's one ACL away from being Derrick Rose.
Ooh.
You combine a D Rose and a Gilbert Arenas, a D Rose on the court and a Gilbert Arenas off the court. You might be looking at John Morant's story.
Did we just come up with our own?
We just solved it. We just solved it. Yeah,
30 for 30.
Let's just send in a you're welcome letter to that 11-year-old who's we just basically got back at him for him. Beyond that, off the sports field, we have a couple doozies from the Post. Thank you, Bobby.
Yeah,
this one is I'm just gonna read it. I'm not gonna really tell you what it is. I'm just gonna read the quotes and you can guess, and then we'll describe it. Quote: Nick and Charlie, written by Alice Osman. Begins with two early teen boys stealing wine from their parents and then proceeding to experiment sexually with one another. The book was on the stand. I'd like to read you a page. Knox said at the school board meeting, according to a video posted by the Maine Wire. This is in Maine. Knox proceeded to read, quote, my back over his hips. I asked if he should take his clothes off. He was saying yes before I finished my sentence. He's pulling off my shirt, laughing when I can't undo his shirt buttons. He's undoing my belt. I reach into his bedside drawer for a condom. This boy's father goes on to say, Adam proceeded to blast the book genderqueer, quote, which also shows sexually explicit depictions of two minors. The age... How do you say that, Ray?
Fucking no.
The age adversary in this book for 18 years or older.
Advisory.
Thank you. So just to give a little backstory here, this was a story about an 11-year-old who found a book in a school library about apparently some gay love scenes between men, and announced it to the crowd that he was in, and his father was not approving of this. He went on to say, quote, this is bullshit, Adam said, the father. Quote, we don't need to be having literature that is showing boys how to suck dick.
You can't see that on the internet.
Nope.
I mean,
All the way up. I was The story, I knew where it was going, the story, like reading it, so I was like kind of getting the whole way through. But then when I got to we don't need to be having literature that is showing boys how to suck dick, that one got me. I laughed out loud. I don't laugh
is
out
great
loud
at
a lot
the
of
end.
things.
You know what else is great about it too? The word of the week, queer, is in it too.
That's right. That's right.
We don't say that enough nowadays.
No,
Yeah,
the book is called Gender Queer. I'm willing to bet that this book probably has some wholesome meaning if you read the whole fucking thing that comes through, and I don't
You
know,
couldn't
you
get past
accept
chapter
everybody for
1.
what they are, but you can't get back sucking dick.
No.
Chapter 1, sucking dick.
Chapter 1, we don't need a literature teaching how to kids to suck dick.
I wonder how the book does end.
You're 11.
Well,
It says
Bobby,
it
well,
says
Bobby,
mature,
maybe
18 plus.
Gotta go
If
to
it's on
this
the
library and check
if
it
it's
out.
on no. If it's on the Amazon book list, you might
Yeah,
see one
just
on your
throw it on there,
doorsteps.
yeah.
Both of yours.
We should start a
soon.
book club and should start with Gender Queer, and then we
Yup.
come on here and the new segment is
I'll get the
reviewing-
PDF.
Ooh, new segment, book club.
New segment, book club. We'll start with Dr. Seuss, right? I got it right here. Where is it? We were gonna make Grant read it. It was gonna be funny. Very hard, actually. Okay, I don't have the next two. There's a couple written. I didn't put in here. So, do either of you have them? Bob, do you have the cat one?
Well, what the cat one was this woman was getting evicted. So as a woman in New Jersey she was getting evicted from her house. And so essentially she just set the house on fire and blew it up with her and all of her cats and her hoarding material. So it was a simple mind, a glorious death.
That's a really elegant way to describe it. That's a really elegant way to end the show. While Ray looks confused on his phone.
No, I was looking for the other one. Jalen Carter, the kid that was going to be a top 10 pick, in the
Mm.
NFL pick. That was the other one that we had. That was he drag racing or a passenger? 2 people got killed, and he fled, and now his life is over.
Yeah, that's way less elegant than the bombing your way out with your
Fucking
your
cats.
felines.
Your 12 cats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. R.I.P. to the pussies. This has been Simple Minds Sports Show, Friday Rewind, March 3rd. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
I gotta go save Princess Peach. Bye.
Good evening.
How we doing?
Fantastic. Oh, good. Looks like Raymond hasn't paid his...
Hello? Just gotta work.
Did you lose a bet that I forgot about?
No, just gotta work. Got a work meeting.
Well, that makes sense.
Everyone came... it looks like you got the extra mushroom. You're a large size today.
Yeah, this is like a European cut. It's
Well,
not
clearly
very
the
good for me.
speculation about him losing weight is far overblown.
We'll get there. Yeah, we'll get to that.
What the hell?
What?
Yeah, we'll get to rumor.
How dare you make fun of my work uniform? How dare you?
I didn't say anything about the uniform.
What was the meeting about today?
Princess Peach once again got captured, and I have to go through the tunnels to save her. The poop pipes.
I see.
Yep, and
And-
Yoshi's feeling under the weather because of the China virus. So
In
Yeah,
your
the-
current
Really fully committed to this.
in your current condition,
Mhm.
What was it like getting through those pipes?
I had to lather myself up in some bacon grease. 2
So
pounds
you
worth.
say you had to clean some pipes?
Mhm.
Tuesday Irene. Well, thanks for committing, Ray. For anyone listening, not paying attention on the YouTube, Ray is in his work outfit,
Mhm.
full on Mario costume. He is a plumber, and that's what he does for work.
Mhm.
He saves Princess Peach
Mhm.
and shovels shit. So
Mhm.
thank you for making the time for us today, Raymond.
You're welcome.
What do you say we start the show, the Simple
Absolutely.
Mind Sports Show, latest and greatest on New England's